So depression, that is a word that we hear a lot. People throw it around. I'm depressed or she's depressed. We hear this a lot. So what exactly does that mean? And how do you decipher between what it would be maybe a blues, just a little bit of sadness where appropriate, and true depression? Because all of us get sad from time to time, right? You know, we lose loved ones, we have friends that move away, we fail a test. All of those things leave us feeling a little bit sad from time to time. So how do you know if you truly are depressed, or when maybe feeling sad or blue turns into something a little bit more serious where you may need to seek some type of counseling or pastoral counseling or whatever it may be, where additional help may be needed? And I'm going to tell you, typically, when we experience a traumatic event, the sadness is there. We go through a natural, maybe some isolation, maybe some tears, and after a few days, we're able to engage right back into our normal daily activities, whatever they may be: work, interacting with your kids, volunteering, things of that nature. One key element to knowing that maybe depression is more prominent or more serious is when our depression lasts for 2 weeks or longer, and you find yourself engaging in isolating, so you want to stay away from friends and family, where you're not eating as much or you're eating too much, where your sleep is disturbed, where you're sleeping too much, you don't want to get out of bed, or you're not sleeping enough, you're up all night and you're restless, your eyes are tired, but you can't yet fall asleep. What it looks different in some people, such as teens, it looks more as irritability. So a lot of us look at depression and we think of what we see on television, right? The gallon of ice cream, and we're sitting there eating it sad, watching sad movies. And some people may do that, but that doesn't mean all depression mimics that. Some of us are able to function and go to work, but maybe our productivity is really low. Maybe we're not able to concentrate as much. Maybe we're a little bit short with our supervisor. Maybe we're finding ourselves in a daze from time to time where people are having to call our name several times in order for us to pay attention. And when these are happening, when your sadness is impacting your interactions with your family, when it's impacting your ability to function at work, when it's impacting your day-to-day activities. So if you're a person that loves being outdoors and sports, and now you find yourself kind of isolating and staying inside watching movies, and when friends or family are saying, what's going on? What happened to you? You used to be so different. You used to be so fun. You used to laugh a lot more. Those are all cues that maybe whatever's happened in your life is causing you to feel a lot more sadness than usual, and maybe it could possibly be depression. And so these are just things to kind of go down your list and check off and kind of see, are you experiencing any of those? You may have talked to a friend about it. Definitely, if you're having any thoughts of not wanting to be here, or wishing that life was different, or just really, really gloomy thoughts, that's also a sign that depression is there. If you're feeling hopeless, helpless, you're feeling like the situation can't get any better, and you don't see the light at the end of the tunnel, even though everyone around you can. I've had individuals I work with describe it sort of as a blanket. It's kind of like a blanket laying over you. And as much as you want to take it off, it feels heavy, and you want very much to see the light of day, but it's very, very hard. So the first step in moving past that, I would say, is once you identify that this is something that you can't shake, and you've tried journaling, you've tried meditating, if you have any type of spiritual preference, you've tried going to church or going to meditation or whatever your preference may be, and you still have that gloominess, the next step may be to talk to a counselor, or someone in the helping field about what's going. Your doctor, your primary care physician, is another individual that may also be able to help you. Now, there is medication. Not everybody is into medication. Not everybody wants medication. That's totally fine. No, there's no rule that says if you're experiencing depression, then you have to be on some type of psychotropic medication. But just know that there are counselors out there and individuals that you can work with that will help teach you tools and things that you can do on a daily and a weekly basis that will help you move past that gloominess, move past that depressive thinking, and that feeling like that cloud is over your head and it will never go away. Okay, so I know you can't see the light at the end of the tunnel, but just know that it's there. And if you take the time out to take care of your emotional health and talk to someone, you'll learn some skills and tools in order to help you get past it. Some things that may help if you're trying to do things on your own would be journaling, writing how you feel. A lot of people think that journaling is stupid. I hear that all the time. The first question I ask when people come to my office is, do you journal? And yes, we all have diaries when we're small and things of that nature, but journaling really does help, because typically with depression, it's this these overwhelming thoughts in your head that cause you to have intense emotions, because it's impossible to have a feeling without a thought attached to it. It's impossible. All of us, you don't just wake up in the morning and feel blue. If you do, it's because of something that you felt before you went to sleep, or something that you were thinking, or a dream that you've had. It's always attached to a thought. And so there's something about journaling. It's almost like freeing your mind. It's getting all of those thoughts that may be swimming around in there causing you to feel sad out on paper. And most people, I would say at least 95% of the individuals I've worked with, once they journal how they feel on paper, it's almost like a weight being lifted off their shoulders. It clears some space in your mind and you're able to think more clearly. And it helps kind of cleanse you. And so journaling would be one thing if you're feeling depressed that you can do. Another thing that you can do would be maybe talking to someone close to you, a family member, a friend, a church clergy, anyone that you feel connected to. Talking about what you're feeling and talking through things is really, really, really helpful. People don't realize that how when we keep all of that stuff inside, we end up being a ticking time bomb. Our can of Coke is what I describe. You're just walking around shaking, 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 and as soon as one person does one wrong thing, you're going to just explode. And usually the people we explode on is family, friends, and loved ones. And so definitely allowing yourself the opportunity to talk through some of the things that are bothering you with other people really, really, really helps. Meditation is another thing that helps. With those of you who are into yoga or just mindful meditation, there are lots of clips on YouTube and things with 5-minute all the way up to an hour meditation series that you can just take a moment and listen to. And meditation is just an opportunity to get out of your head, because that's what causes us to be so sad. We're in our mind and we can't get away from it. And so meditation is also an opportunity to take a step back, to breathe, to focus on the here and now, and kind of give your mind a break. And if you've tried all of those things and none of them are working at all, talking to someone, journaling, exercise is another thing that helps individuals who may be feeling some sadness, because it releases the endorphins in your brain that cause us to feel more pleasant. Writing, talking to individuals. If you've tried all of those things, if you're spiritual, going to a church service or going to a Bible study, things like that, if you've tried all of those things and none of those have been helpful, then that may be a time to seek additional help.